Well, it may not be the exact 10th anniversary, hey, but it is the 10th anniversary when I first started playing these titles today. So what the heck? Let's let's give another talk about Pokemon X and Y. As you can tell, these copies have seen a bit of mileage since I got them. In fact, I'm actually on my second copy of X after one of them kept getting stuck on certain dates. But needless to say, I've logged well over 480 hours into my second playthrough of X, and I've actually went past the max time on my copy of Y. So I can honestly say that even given the current discourse, which is an interesting one I've seen, I can ultimately argue that the impact left on the franchise has been, in many respects, a positive one. While spin off games on consoles had dealt with three dimensional graphics before to varying extents, I can argue that as this was the first time the main series went all in on that idea, and I know this is definitely going to be a big thing to say, but given at the time and playing them varyingly for 10 years, here's that they are indeed the the transition that nailed it. It's in the same vein as Super Mario 64, Zelda Ocarina of Time, and Metroid Prime Nephew as the big four Nintendo franchises that's made leap from 2D to 3D as well. I mean, even with the current state of affairs, it's easy to forget how big a deal this was, as was like now making the simultaneous release pattern standard. Or meaning they come out at the same time in Japan, the U.S., Europe, and other territories. Have you? And while we may have never truly gotten a full Pokemon Z, it's not hard to imagine that there were just so many ideas, especially based on what's been discovered recently, that over time, development, they eventually became the next generation of games, Generation 7, which actually happens a fair amount, not just in this franchise, but in others, and I can't say for certain what will happen in development or next installments, but I can say, hey, that the ideas introduced here in terms of stuff like Mega Evolution, photo modes, and other user generated content, and to me, it's just the promo videos. They have been and reworked and used in some capacity ever since then, which is something that I am glad to experience. And I'm not sure what will happen and once the online services come to a close. It was early next April, but if anyone else wants to trade in these, I'm definitely still open, especially since I swipe my friend code in my challenge information. Just so you know, I'm open to the idea. Though I still consider the villains of Team Flare as a whole to be less memorable than their predecessors in Team Plasma, or their successors in Team Skull, Andrix and the Aether Foundation, and even later ones like Macrocosmos, and Team Star. I still think that Lysander is among the most effective heads of an organization and in the games to date. It's to be completely honest. I definitely understand why the adaptation went different directions for the team. Since I made that cinema at the time, and to an extent, I still hold that. There are some things I do change over time, but unless I am personally making otherwise, I have a habit of very rarely, if ever, changing my opinion on something or my mind on something once it's made up. And but still, on the whole, I still consider these to be good games, and I am definitely curious to see, what could happen then for him into them, say in the future, maybe on this which success they're working on, see what they could do. I know that I did still remember the set up a change of the development structure, her, but I'm not at liberty to guess all the details given how notoriously secretive most party games are for Nintendo as well, man. We didn't, heck, we're still finding out details about the early installments that weren't fully known until the Giga Leak happened a few years back, but so there's that. Anyway, that's all I've got to say for now, and I'll definitely see you all again soon, including tomorrow with my next vlog on Loki. So I'll see you all then. Take care, everyone, and to our own way.